welcome to SonarFeed, episode 195. We're in the house with Matt Pentz. Let's go.
Thank you for that awesome intro, as always, Hugo. We're here with Matt Pentz tonight doing the last episode of Anticipation. We're waiting for the MLS Cup this weekend. So
is this real life?
I think it is. I don't know.
Let's
I
go.
took a little nap this afternoon, and I woke up, and we're still going, so that's the good news. So it's still real. So anyway, so my name is Aaron Riley, a.k.a. Sonar Riley. Across from me, diagonally over there.
Hugo Garcia, a.k.a. Mi Vida Seattle.
And over here to my left, your right.
Tom Biro, a.k.a. Bougie Hooli.
And joining us for the first time, episode 195, we finally got Matt Pentz to join us. Thank you for joining us, Matt Pentz.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Absolutely, yes. Obviously, you're from the Seattle Times. We'll go a little into your history here in a little bit here, but thank you for joining us tonight.
Man.
Happy to be here.
It's good.
Cozy spot, you guys.
Yeah, so we wanted to get prepared for Toronto. So we're doing the show outside.
Yes.
Because why else we wouldn't do it? We want to get ready.
Preparation,
For
conditioning.
everybody.
Did you offer Matt a blanket?
There is a blanket, by the way.
Yeah.
some
There's
blankets.
a ton of blankets. If
real.
anyone wants a blanket.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Full
So-
service.
Yeah. But, so it's 32 degrees outside, but we're outside anyways. It's actually not too bad.
No.
It's not too bad in here.
I took off my beanie.
I was thinking
I'm
about taking
handling
off my jacket because it got warm, but
Thanks, Santa.
yeah, you're welcome. So anyway, so how's everybody doing tonight? How you guys doing?
Pretty fucking good. It's Monday, right?
It is Monday.
Yeah.
It is Monday. So last Monday we talked. We kind of had that like anticipation of like where are we going? Are we staying home? Are we going to Toronto? What's going on? So obviously you guys all watched the game quite intently. You guys were at Fuel, right?
Yes.
Watching the game, and then the lovely Dylan is in the house, which I got to give him a hand real quick for awesome.
Dylan!
Everyone needs to buy Dylan a beer not during the game.
Yes. Buy him a game Saturday night or Friday night, or after the game. Dylan runs the website, right? He's the web manager, right? Or whatever the official title is. Volunteer and webmaster. Thank you. That's what I was looking for.
Of what we
ECS.
are.
What do you
yeah.
say? Knots and servers? Knots and websites. Knots and
websites, yeah. So anyway, so he did. So thank you for that because it worked. I know people had to like wait and refresh a couple times, but it worked.
I got mine.
Yeah,
right
I
away.
got mine right away.
Thanks,
so that was
man.
good. Yeah, thank you. So, but it was. Let's start with that game real quick. The Toronto Montreal, because I don't think I've ever watched in a long time an
That was
MLS game
insane,
that I actually
man.
cared about
Yeah.
like that one.
It was nuts.
Yeah, like I got home and they were up 1-0. And my wife walked through the door, and I'm like, yes. She goes, I thought you really wanted to go to Miller's Burger and go to Toronto with the guys. And I'm like, well, I did. But I wanted to be home with you guys because my wife and kids aren't going. So to the Toronto game.
That was, by the way, an audible yeah. Just got a new propane for their heater.
Can you imagine being a Montreal Impact fan at this point?
Nope.
I mean,
Oof.
So many offered just a little slip over and over and over again. Up 3-0 in the series.
Right.
And have it come down like that.
Yeah.
Just.
Well, then they fell
Crushing.
apart, of course.
Crushing,
Right?
soul crushing.
But then they came back, right? They went down, they came back, they went. I mean, it was like this.
I think the backbreaker, though, was, I mean, there's a million things in that game we can talk about, but they subbed the guy in, and he basically immediately scored.
Yeah,
For Gio.
And that's where you're like,
For Gio.
the game's over.
Right.
Like,
They subbed in for
you're like,
Gio.
oh, he's
Giovinco.
off? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Which is like,
Because I thought Giovinco's going out. This
Yeah.
is the best thing ever for us hosting.
yes, no
MLS
question.
That might be
And hopefully
the
he's still
loudest
off.
I've heard a bar, though, for goals scored by opposing team
Yes.
when you literally don't give a shit about either of the teams playing.
Entirely
It was
neutral.
pretty
Yeah.
Loud.
Yeah.
No, it was.
Yeah.
Dude. We
Yeah.
were cheering like it was us, there
Hell,
playing.
the concession manager from CenturyLink Field was probably like sitting there on edge. Like someone's making, it's like Black Friday for stadiums.
Yeah,
Oh.
exactly.
Oh.
Exactly. So then it was like the letdown, right? It was that moment of just like everything was like, damn it.
Dude.
We
Now
were in a
those
text
flights
group.
that I booked, I don't get to cancel
Well,
within
exactly,
the 24-hour
exactly.
Yeah,
window.
no, that's right, because we
That
were.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we had all booked our flights the night before. We were on a text group, kind of like getting everything ready to go, and then it was like, oh, I can't wait to cancel that right after the game's over, and then we couldn't. Do you want a beer?
Yeah, we'll get there eventually.
Okay, okay,
Alright.
okay, cool. So so that's Montreal. They lost. They didn't fulfill their need. So we're going to Toronto.
It's official.
You're going
I am going Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Okay. Then the team's there, and then they'll practice a couple days.
Yep. They're practicing there Thursday, Friday.
Okay.
Lead up Saturday.
Okay. Excellent. And then we're going. I know your schedule. 'Cause we're going together.
We're going Friday.
Well,
early.
meet
Well, I'm
in
leaving
Detroit.
early.
Yeah, we're
Early,
leaving
like
Detroit.
6 a.m. Friday.
Yeah, I'm like 8:30.
Yeah, I'm going
Friday
Denver.
morning. Yeah. And then you're going.
Friday, fly kind of all day.
Oh, you're doing like 17 flights.
It's something, and I start in Portland.
What?
So I've got to get to Portland.
Are you driving or busing or training?
Probably gonna just drive and then use like a free hotel night.
Okay.
Or something Thursday night, and then to Kansas City, to Detroit, to Buffalo.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you were giving them crap about
But
a 10-hour layover?
I'm flying in first. We're flying in first for part of this flight. So
Okay.
and it's all miles. So
Okay.
this is why you fly the whole rest of the time. So
Right.
You can do stuff like this for free.
Yes.
So it was like $70 or something. So pretty easy
Okay.
round trip. And then driving across, meeting some other people actually
Buffalo.
coming through Buffalo.
Okay.
And then we'll get into Buffalo late Friday night.
Sweet.
So
Okay,
you were more looking forward to canceling these flights than anybody.
Yeah, kind of one of the miles back more than anything. I mean, it's fun to spend time in airports if they're good airports, but Kansas City Airport is like, I don't know.
How long are you there for?
Depending on which terminal you're in, sometimes the security area is about as big as this bar.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
So you actually like leave and like go to another terminal to do stuff and then like come back. But yes, that's not.
Yeah, because it's actually a cool layout. I actually like the layout. If you're
if you're just hopping through,
Exactly.
it's great.
Yeah. Right.
But if you're sitting in the airport, I don't have that long of a layover. It's not really that bad.
okay, so
but-
you can't go get like some good barbecue.
No, we could probably have it delivered to the airport though.
Do they have?
Do it.
Wait,
Do
do they
it.
have?
Do it.
Extra sauce though through security because it's too much liquid. So they've got to put it in like whatever.
Oh, inject
Gel
it in it?
containers,
Yeah.
hairspray, or
Give
whatever.
you a whole bunch of
Lotion.
those.
But wait, do they actually have Uber Eats there
Probably not.
on 3G?
Yeah, a quart bag of 3-ounce sauce packets. Don't think I'm not thinking about this because I already am. If I can find a place that I can order online from the plane, we're doing that.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I want this. Yeah, now that would be very bougie
Yeah.
of you. So I would like to hear that story.
Sounds about
Please.
when you land. Please.
Doing that in the first class.
Yeah, it's like
Right?
perfect, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so then we all get there, and there's like what, 400 or 500, 400-ish ECS,
About 400.
ECS, bought through ECS.
Yep.
Which again, back to the comment. Thanks, Dylan, again. But it's more of that $30 investment we made, and I guess it's as cheap as 15, right, to become a member, isn't it?
It
or
was,
20?
What did we do this year? 20, 25, 20, I think. Didn't we do 20?
20,
Yeah,
23.
20, 30. Yeah.
20, 30. So $20 with no gear, and then $30 with the scarf and everything
Yep.
to join.
Dude,
and then you get
still
access.
a bargain at twice the price.
I would agree. You get access to
Yeah,
it.
I mean,
so
I don't really espouse doing it to get access to tickets.
I understand.
However, the people that did it, one way or the other, were the ones that got access to our
Correct.
tickets.
And all that money goes to help TIFO and help
Correct.
fund the group, and all the volunteers, kind of put their hours in and don't get paid for
Yeah,
it. So,
and
I mean,
from what I've seen,
We all basically pay to be an ECS.
yeah, well, exactly. Yeah.
So-
But what I've seen, like a lot of the people that are regulars or go to a lot of the games and volunteer are a lot of the ones that are going.
Yeah.
Yes,
You know,
correct.
so-
Me too.
It's
So-
a pretty
Good to see.
serious group. It's
Yeah.
I don't. There's not a lot of people that were like, wow, I don't know if I know who that person is, like off the top
Right,
of my
right,
head,
right.
which is good.
Yeah, it's good.
That's
Yeah.
kind of what you want. But that's, I mean, frankly, what you'd expect too. It's, I didn't pay outright for all this trip for myself, so I'm not really sure. But you're talking a 4-digit number, easy.
Oh, easy.
Oh, yeah,
to go
yeah.
to Toronto.
Yeah.
For
So-
sure.
Even if you got the cheap flight
Right.
at $250, $300.
Right. You still got a couple hotel nights.
Yep.
You got food. You got an Uber.
Ticket.
Whatever
Yeah,
the heck you're
alcohol.
doing.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alcohol.
Alcohol. Is
It
it?
is. I got to look up the regulations at how much we can bring in over the border in Detroit. I can't remember what the rules are. So,
Just bring all of it.
well, I'm going to.
Yeah.
1 liter per person.
Who knows?
Okay, whatever. I'll figure it out. Anyways, we'll figure it out. So,
Yeah. This
have you
is important
heard
details.
how much, or you, Tom? Have you heard how many people are coming from Seattle, or like
I've not heard a hard
Okay.
number now.
No.
Okay.
We've been told that there are
1,000-ish?
The number that you've seen publicly is that there are 1,500 seats. Let's call them controlled by the Sounders,
Mm-hmm.
and that's family and friends. That's all the staff that's making their way out. Family of them, supporter tickets plus the tickets that went to the season ticket holders.
Okay, so
And that's for all the
1,500.
supporter groups.
1,500 all in.
Yeah, and again, I should say to be
everybody
fair, yeah.
officially buying a ticket through the Sounders.
Yeah.
There might be 2,000 people who went and bought tickets on StubHub.
Sure,
or
sure.
Bought Toronto tickets to
Right.
figure out a way to get final.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different ways people have done it.
But we know from there's 1,500 Sounders related tickets
Nice.
approximately.
yeah,
Okay.
that's the max.
Let's
number.
go.
Okay.
Let's go.
Which that's a good number.
Oh, yeah.
To go on like a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yeah, 10 days notice.
to go and fly across the country. I mean, literally
another country.
To another country.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I was very impressed today too. I mean, Toronto was sold out in 3 minutes.
3
Nuts.
minutes.
That's
Yeah.
also
Yeah.
very
You know, that's a lot of people like concert style, just sitting at their computer, like.
Boom, 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 boom.
Because one of our Twitter friends, Randy Meeker,
Oh, yeah.
didn't get, he was in
Did
the
he end up
queue.
getting a ticket finally?
He did get tickets.
He did, right?
He did.
All
He
right.
did. But he didn't get tickets. So he was in the queue. He had them, and they were there, and then they were gone.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Let's not. No. So I'm trying to just.
ask him if he's coming to the game.
I'm trying to just to tell everybody we're live again.
Yeah.
And I typed in P, and it came up with Mike Pence. So I'm gonna.
That's been a
Mike
bane
Pence
of
is on.
my
Yeah.
by the way.
All right. So anyway, so that's kind of the opening. We'll come back to Sounders. Let's learn about Matt. Matt, tell us. You obviously are the Seattle Times. You've been there for a while. Just go back and tell us about who you are, and go back as far as you want. Ross Fletcher went back to birth, which is still one of my favorite ones because he goes, "How far back
you
can I
can
go?"
beat that.
Yeah.
You can remember your
You'll be
first
super
meal.
impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah. But feel free to go back as far as you want and just kind of tell us who you are, where you came from, all that good stuff.
Okay, so I'm from Western Pennsylvania originally. Tiny town called Du Bois, interstate town, not really near anything.
Okay.
One of the few times this has been an advantage is leading up to this game because I know all about lake effect snow.
Yes.
Ah.
It's on the south side of Lake Erie. Toronto's north of there, so know that region fairly well. So yeah, so grew up there, went to school in Ohio at Ohio University.
Okay.
Was there for 4 years, and then after graduation, I got a grant to work in Ukraine during Euro 2012.
Oh,
that
that's
was the
awesome.
first like big
Wow.
thing I was able to do. So I was in Kiev for 3 months, did that, came back to the States. So I was like, oh yeah, like coming off this really cool grant, I'm gonna get a job right away. I mean, that never really happens.
Like in any industry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm flying everywhere, living at my parents' house for 2 or 3 months. I had interviews in Arkansas and Oklahoma. Just happened to get a job in Longview, Washington, down near Portland at the
Yeah.
newspaper there.
Okay.
Worked in preps there for 2 years. Worked out that I was able to get the job up here. So
Nice.
kind of a very roundabout way
Yeah.
to Seattle. But I've been in the Northwest for more than 4 years now.
Okay. And was your goal to kind of come to the Northwest, or you would have gone anywhere for a job?
I would have
really?
gone anywhere, but this was like in the short list. As somebody who has always loved soccer, this
Yeah.
was a draw. But the first time
Yeah.
I ever visited the Northwest was getting off the plane for my interview in Longview.
Wow.
I always had a soft spot
That's
for
super
it, and
awesome.
if I could have
Yeah,
made
that
out
is,
here,
man.
I would
Yeah.
love to.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know Longview pretty well because I have our work offices that are nearby Astoria and Oaxaca. So I know. So that's really cool to see that you went in through that
Yeah.
community there, man.
Yeah. I spent a lot of time in Astoria.
Would you mind moving your mic a little bit closer to you, or just kind of
Yeah,
talking into it? Yeah.
boom. Pretty much like
Perfect,
you're eating it, but don't do it
Yeah.
like I did. I ate it once, literally.
Yeah. If it's in your way.
Better.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. Okay. So your goal was to be in soccer or in sports,
Yes. Yeah.
soccer specifically.
Soccer specifically, yeah.
Okay.
Ideally.
And then, so this came about. Obviously, we've had a couple of great. I mean, our Seattle Times. We've been
4
very
years,
fortunate.
yeah.
With our Seattle Times coverage, I think.
You're not
I
as
mean,
depressing, though.
No, you're.
Even today, I saw Josh is
Yeah.
getting buzzed on Twitter. That's
That's
rough.
not really against you. That's
Yeah.
like pro negativity people. It's like we like rain
Yeah.
and negative soccer tweets.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. That's important to know. You need to know your audience, right? It's, yeah.
And so, what was it like coming in here to this group, having the two predecessors that were both beloved in the community, even
Yeah.
though there was, like you said, some realistic negativity, maybe, I guess. I don't know how else to put that, but he was pretty realistic about his stuff. But how'd that feel coming in, kind of?
It was fun, honestly. I never felt unwelcome at all. I mean, you obviously come in, you always have to prove yourself anywhere you go, but there was never a sense of who is this guy coming in from the outside. I felt welcomed by the community right away and have hopefully lived up to that over the last couple of years here.
Yeah, and that's obviously the community being all the reporters, the team, the fans as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Okay.
just in general, the media community here is great.
It is.
In my just between everybody that covers the Seahawks to the Huskies to all the different papers and TV crews, it's more of a sort of collaborative community than anywhere else that I've been or heard of. So that was really helpful.
Nice.
And then also just getting involved with the fans and the Sounders community as well has been great. But
That's awesome.
But yeah, that media bubble sort of helped the transition a lot.
Bob Condata actually, I think, hazes people when they come into the Seattle sports community. But
That
that's
shouldn't
the story.
surprise anyone.
That's
No.
the story.
Bob, yeah.
So who's the worst at the media, and why is it Dave Clark? No,
Sitting right
Dave's
over there.
Yeah, Dave's right over here. Come on a little bit here, but I had to do that. But
Yeah.
but no, it's kind of fun because we have a good mix here of like obviously Sounder Heart, which is comes on the show. I mean, Dave's
For sure.
a regular part of the show a lot, and with you guys, Don Ruiz has been on the show a couple times. Don is that guy. I love Don. His
He was
humor
awesome.
is like I was crying the night he was on here because he just like these one-liners that he just comes up
He's
with.
dry as can be.
Yes.
Yeah. Boom.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yep.
I kind of have a dry.
Is he going?
Sense of humor.
He is not.
No.
He wanted to. He'd already had a vacation booked up in the San Juans. Was thinking
kinda hard
about
to-
trying to go
Hard
anyway.
to pass up.
Yeah, it's not the worst backup plan.
No.
Yeah.
He
No.
said he said he'll be by TV, so he'll be watching.
Okay, good.
Just
That's
not
good.
on site.
Okay.
So going back a little bit to going to Europe and then going all the way back to like your school and stuff. What sports did you play in high school and college? Did you play any sports or
Yeah, growing up, I actually never really played soccer other than just recreationally. Because in Pennsylvania, I actually wish that I would have grown up in this state for that reason. Because in Pennsylvania, football and soccer are both in the fall. And football is something I played from the time I was really little.
Oh,
I
yeah,
was
Pennsylvania.
frankly much better at it than I am at
Really?
soccer.
What
Not
position?
that great with my feet. Quarterback and linebacker.
Oh, nice.
So I
Nice.
played football growing up, basketball growing up. Soccer I'd always played recreationally, but nothing all that official. Played some intramurals in college, also not all that successfully, but
Same.
Yeah. Still today, if I do that,
I played tennis.
Not much.
That was my only real sport in golf.
No one's surprised.
No. Really? You're not surprised by that?
I am.
I did. Yes, I am Santa tonight. Yes, thank you. Okay, so then you're here. You're part of the community. So you've been here 2 years,
Yes, a little bit more.
2.5 years or whatever.
Roughly,
Yeah, 2.5 years. Okay. You've covered other sports as well here locally. You've done some Mariner coverage.
Yeah,
Seahawks.
helping out from here and there. Yeah,
Yeah. And how's that? Do you like doing that?
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
And everybody does kind of help each other out. So it's not a big thing at all. I don't mind doing it.
Good.
Certainly, I enjoy doing this the most.
Yes.
But I don't mind helping out.
That's awesome.
That's cool, man. Who's
I-
like the just to jump in? Who's one of the first interviews you did with one of the athletes? Any sport that you were like, oh man, like where you you have to like really think about not being fanboy. Like it's hard for me.
Yeah, the first sort of starstruck thing I had like that, it was actually when I was working in Longview.
Okay.
It would have been the fall of 2012. So the year the Sounders played the Galaxy.
Okay.
That's
when we met.
In 2012. And I covered the second leg up here for
Okay.
the Daily News. They didn't really care for me to cover it, but I was like, I'm going to make the drive up, just give me a pass.
Yeah.
Go to the game and walk in and turn the corner to go into the Galaxy locker room, and there is like stark naked David Beckham. This is different than covering preps. That was the first like full on professional locker room I had ever been in.
Right.
And that was a little bit. That was
Yeah.
Do you want a beer?
sure.
Would you like
What do you like?
What do you
Anything?
guys have? Anything?
Okay.
dark, light, amber?
Darker would be good.
Dark?
Yeah.
I'll do the same.
Yeah.
I'll go with that. That
I
looks
want
good.
Tito's. And make sure Dylan gets a beer when he's ready for
Yeah.
a beer. So, okay, well, hot toddy then, whatever.
Actually, let me switch
Okay.
that to hot
All right. Okay, so that was your first experience.
That
Is
was,
like
that
coming
was
in
my
with.
first ever
Yeah.
professional locker room experience.
That's awesome.
That's crazy.
That's awesome.
Probably not as fond of a memory for you guys.
No.
Enjoy the laugh.
Yeah, no, that was good. Okay. So then you come in and you've done 2.5 years. That was kind of an interesting. That was a weird game, right? That was a weird.
What was the second one when we went down 4-0, I think?
What was that?
Was that when we were down 4-0 down there?
And then started,
Yeah.
3-0.
Oh,
Yeah.
3-0.
I believe
Nothing.
Zach Scott had both a goal and an assist in that,
That game,
second
yeah,
Wow.
that game,
Kinda
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. So it was a good chance, but yeah, it was crazy. 13 was an interesting year, but now so we come back. Let's come to this like.
Yeah.
That was 12. That's when you were down there.
Yeah.
And then you started covering the team in 13.
14.
14.
So
okay.
midway through the
I'm catching up on
Supporters
years. I guess
Shield
it's
year.
16.
Yeah,
2 years ago.
nice.
Okay.
So much longer ago.
Doesn't it
I
though?
know, dude. It does, but
Yeah.
that's the one where we drove straight to Cali. I don't think I drove with you, but I drove with Randy and a couple other
Yeah,
people
exactly.
straight to LA for
Yeah.
that playoff.
And because I'd flown in because I had a business trip, and so I
Yeah.
met you
But
down
we
there.
met
That's when I
you,
met
yeah.
you at the tailgate down
That's
there.
4 years. That's
Yeah,
crazy,
that-
man.
4 years ago I met
That
you?
is, dude.
It feels like it's 100 years.
I know.
I'm sorry. Anyways, but
Anyhow.
okay, so now you've come in and kind of bringing it more forward, but I want to talk your last couple of years too.
Yeah.
And again, feel free to answer however you want, like as we go through this. But like this team since July, whatever day that was. Was it 18th or 20th? I can't remember the exact date, but since July 20, there's been this like radical change. I know everyone talked about it, right?
Yeah.
Is it different for you? Do you see a difference? Like, I was just thinking about driving down, and you've got like Christian and Jordan who are like BFFs, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they.
I think
Joris and Morton, sorry.
I think Schmetzer called them pseudo brothers today.
Pseudo brothers.
He's gone.
They're basically living together, right? It sounds like, very polite. But those two have like become like like inseparable, like for everything. I saw them actually at a Seattle U game, back when the season was going on, because of course Christian's brother Alex plays.
Yeah.
So it was interesting. So, anyways, there's that, and then you see like all the other guys. Eric Freeberg had a picture with Chad Marshall and a couple other people in Bellevue yesterday that he posted on Facebook, and they have all these like groups of guys that are like really super close and more public about it. It almost feels like now than it was before. Maybe it wasn't. I mean, maybe I'm just more aware of it.
Yeah.
Do you
Very
feel
different here than elsewhere. I mean, we talk about
come
back to that, but
But I think it is. But it's like feels like right now there's like this really strong, and I'm talking about lately, as in the last 6 months. Do you see that like a difference as well? I know it's an open-ended question.
It's certainly a different vibe and atmosphere and everything else, but I mean, winning teams are always happier than
For sure.
Fair enough. That's a good point.
Especially a team in the midst of a feel-good playoff race that's sort of playing above their head. Like, that would naturally lend itself to that, but it certainly has been a little bit different. I think that Torres, is sort of loosened everybody up to a degree, too.
Oh,
he's
man,
a really
he's a man.
happy-go-lucky locker room guy. I think Lodero has a little bit of that. He's a little bit more mild-mannered, too. So I think those two guys, too, played a part in that. So even coaching change, obviously, but also those two guys coming in. It is certainly a lighter, more jovial group than it was a couple months ago.
Sure. But even like last year, to talk about, or even in 14, doing the run, right? I mean, that
Support Shield.
in the Support Shield, but that was that didn't feel. Did it feel like that even in that run, that it was the same as it is now?
I think what's different, at least from the outside looking at it, is that there was just always sort of this burden of expectation to a degree, even whenever the Sounders weren't quite, even if they still hadn't been there.
Yep.
But every single year they were near the top of the table the entire time. They were always, not always a top seed, but it just always felt
in the mix.
Yeah, and it always just felt like there was this sort of this pressure and this expectation. And this year, coming from so far out of the way to as far as they have, I think that it has lifted some of that to a degree. I mean, it's sort of the first true out of left field run they've had, which I think translates to some of that.
That's fair enough. Yeah. It was just something I was thinking about driving down, because we talked about it a little bit the other day, and it just feels different.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing, whole atmosphere. And of course, we love Schmetzer.
Yeah.
Schmetzer, if you're watching, hi.
What up, Coach?
He's been known to follow our road trips and admonish some of us for our bad eating habits on road trips.
I'm not making any promises. We're flying to Toronto, Coach.
Yeah.
I mean,
poutine. There's poutine there.
I mean,
and like I said, we're going to Millersburg. I grew up in Dearborn, and
and look at my influence over here.
I'm bad. Yeah, I'm not. We're not eating well this trip. We're gonna drink a lot and eat a lot.
We talk about Michigan and college football. Let's not do that.
Let's not go that far. No, we're good. So, anyways, okay. So now we're back into this year. Let's talk about this year a little bit. So Schmetzer comes in there.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Schmetzer? And I'm not asking for like a Siggy Schmetzer argument here, but just like talk about Schmetzer. Can you tell us your?
We'll take the Siggy.
Yeah, if you want to, feel free. But
please throw him in. Let us know.
But Schmetzer. Let's talk about Schmetzer for a minute, just because we love him. We have an unnatural love. I told my wife I was leaving her for him, but and I've admitted on the show before.
Has he agreed to that?
Not yet. I'm working on him. I'm softening him up.
I haven't told my dad yet.
Slowly buying gear at Schmetzer's soccer house, like slowly
stockpiling it.
Kind of true, actually. My daughter plays, but whatever. Yeah, okay. But anyway,
he is a truly remarkable story. I mean, it's just when you look at, he really is Seattle soccer. Whenever you just trace it back all the way through in a way that very few people are in any sport, let alone in soccer in the U.S., where you don't always have these long lines of. It's a pretty incredible rise, and I mean, and he has connected with this locker room in a way that is really impressive. And I think that he just was able to set a tone right away. And that's a hard thing, making the transition from assistant to winning that group right away. And I think that he talked about his first meeting with Dempsey and sort of how he realized right away that this was a meeting that he had to nail. He had to have Dempsey leaving that room bought into what he was trying to do if he was going to have any chance of turning it around, because he was given, I wouldn't call it a raw deal necessarily, but they gave him a very tough sort of hurdle to here's your shot, coach. Take on a 10-point gap, and then we're not even going to guarantee you'll get hired. So he comes in.
We laugh, but it's so true.
With those stakes, in the way that he was able to win over the veterans and get them to buy into what he's talked about, has been very impressive for sure.
Yeah.
In a way that I don't even know that I knew that he would be able to pull that part of it off as quickly as he did.
Yeah, I totally agree. It was fun to watch. What did he say? Were we 8-2-4 right after he took over?
Yeah.
And of course he told Taylor Twellman that. And I'm not gonna lie, I cried watching the replay of that when he was talking to Taylor about that. I was just like, holy crap, because it's that like he did it. He brought us to that next level. And again, not just him. I mean, and there's more, but I mean, but he said this is what we need to do, and we did it. So
there's been some cool moments for him. I think he's been very even keel. Even that week 1, he's like, I said 2 sentences and then I walk out of the locker room and let the team have their own time. Yeah. And it's funny because I've heard from people that he, as assistant, was the guy who spent a bunch of time in the locker room after matches. Yeah. And now he's the guy that spends 2 minutes in the locker room. Yeah. Unless there's a reason to sing and dance and do whatever. And then he's just out and like he's doing it, on the practice field or on the sideline. And then after the game, it's like he makes his point and walks away. Yeah. And that's kind of the end of it. It's interesting to hear him talk about that. I have to say that photo of him, I think there was a little bit of video clip of him holding the cup in Colorado. Oh. And people have been like, that's the most shit-eating grin ever. He looks like a little kid holding a trophy.
Oh, yeah.
Like he's like, yeah.
We
were singing his song at that.
And that was fantastic.
Yeah.
That photo was just it was just amazing, and he looked just so excited, like
genuinely, like
excited, not like we did this. It was like no shit.
Yeah.
Well, okay, and let's be honest. This is a guy who is an ECS member. He was the first guy in line to buy the S2 membership.
Yep.
I was there. He is a guy who is invested in this. He called himself the steward, which is why I keep doing it when I tag him, because he is. He called it, and I will ask that next. Yeah, actually, or you can. I mean, it's a great. He just has that. He loves the community. Like, back as far as you can think. Yeah. He's been involved in this community. And he is. Soccer.
Yeah, I mean, he was there when they were in the USL. They're getting a couple thousand people at matches, if that. Yeah. For years, and his career, like you said, going back to so far, I think you generally see that life that he's led in that moment of genuine pride, love, happiness, man.
He's just got to be giddy. It's just really neat to see.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I just want nothing for the best for him, because he is that guy.
I haven't asked my dad yet, but it might be if I ever have a son, Brian might be involved in the name. It might be.
I wonder if I could change Tucker's name. Is it too late?
I mean,
I have to ask Chris.
You just got to go to court. It involves going to court. You could do it though.
Okay, okay, we'll figure that out. Okay.
So anyway,
you want to ask a question?
Yeah, what's that question?
You can ask.
Okay, Adam, who is sitting over here in the audience here, asked, how do the press conferences with Schmetzer differ than when Siggy was here?
That's a great question.
I just want to say that I could listen to that guy talk all day long, Brian. I just love listening to him talk. But go ahead. How do you what do you think watching it?
They are different, but they're both similar in their own way. I mean, Ziggy was always pretty forthcoming in his own way, and he was probably a little bit more guarded with the injury stuff specifically than Brian has been, and maybe tried to craft the narrative a little bit more. But he's also been doing it for so long.
Exactly.
That he developed sort of was very polished with it. I think you could feel Brian sort of feeling his way into it to some degree. The first couple is very sort of just raw and honest and everything else, which was great, and then it seemed like he pulled back at least a little bit once you get into, having to talk to us every day. I certainly don't begrudge anyone for starting to get tired of that at all.
Yeah.
But it also seems like he's starting to kind of find his own voice and his way of doing it, which I think has been kind of cool to see. Because obviously he's not coming in blind from out of nowhere. That aspect of it is a little bit new compared to what it was back in the day and everything else.
And I didn't know Siggy, and I really didn't ever interact with Siggy other than at his going away when he came to Fuel. Yeah. But Brian, I've interacted with him, and then my kids have walked out the players before, and so we've been on the field, we've done the flags and everything, so we see him come out, Brian, even when he was the assistant coach. Yeah. And he would come out, and we were standing all lined up in the tunnel with the kids getting ready to practice.
Yeah.
And he would just stand right behind the kids and just walk up and he's still doing that as coach because there was a picture last weekend or the last home game that he still does that kind of stuff. He's just being goofy and silly and I don't know if goofy and silly. Sorry, coach, but I mean just being himself.
Yeah,
and it feels like that's who he is though. So I think you get some of that
for sure
in the way he talks.
It comes across a little bit more clearly.
Yeah,
and with Ziggy, I mean, I think it's a little bit unfair to compare their personality specifically just because, like we've talked about some of these things. I mean, Brian is such an integral, rare part of this community.
Yep.
And he can be engaging in that way. But I also think that Ziggy, in his own way, was certainly a unique guy in a lot of ways as well.
Yeah, and I don't mean to talk negative
no,
at all,
not
but okay.
you are at all, but
I did, and when he started Shelby Joseph in Portland, I definitely talked negative about him.
Ziggy out started from that moment.
I ziggied out in
How
like
much
the 10th
money
minute.
that you could have won on like a prop bet if you had picked Shelby Joseph
Oh
instead
my
of Ford?
God.
Like thousands.
Thousands.
Yeah, I could have paid for my ticket that I'm reselling from ECS that you emailed me earlier.
Thanks for bringing my ticket too. Thanks,
I
Tom.
brought them all.
Thank you. By the way, if you're not here, come down right now. Tom has all the tickets.
All the tickets. All the tickets. All the tickets.
Not really. Not really. Not really.
You know someone's on their way right
I know. They just heard tickets and they hung up and they went. So
You're gonna turn around. It's gonna be like a mob.
Yeah, exactly.
Lining the walls there.
All right. So talk about maybe a little bit more about you're there every day, obviously. So can you tell us like what's going on, how are they feeling? Kind of give us. I know. I mean, we all read your column. Which, by the way, if you don't already, go subscribe to the Seattle Times.
Do it.
Put Matt Pentz in the reason why, so that we get him more credit and everything. So, but
They'll actually probably take money out of his wallet if we do that. So don't do that.
Yeah.
Oh, don't
you can
do
do
that.
that. That's whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to write it.
okay. Matt Pentz is awesome.
Click the
Just
subscribe.
click the subscribe
We will
button.
appreciate that.
Yeah. Stop doing the incognito, guys. Make sure you sign up for it.
Do it. Do
It's a
it.
good plug.
Yeah.
Smooth plug.
Yeah, like that. So, but talk to us about like where they are right now. Where do you think? Because we talked last week about it, how they kind of celebrated, right? And so there was this big like thing about, oh my God, they celebrated, and are they going to get loose? Are they going to be too loose?
Complacent.
Are they going to come back around?
Are they going to bring that heat, that focus?
So, what are you seeing right now out there?
They're still almost honestly from the time that I started back in 2014, and even as they struggled here and there, and even when they got knocked out by Dallas last year, there was just always this sort of like a quiet confidence type thing. They've always had such a strong veteran locker room that has seen and been through so many things that they just never seem to be rattled or get too high or too low at all. So there's still some of that. I don't think the risk of prematurely celebrating is too much with this team because if you look back, I mean, the dancing videos back through months and months and months. I mean, they are a loose group.
Yes.
At this point, that I mean, they've celebrated in their own way for months now, and that hasn't seemed to have tripped them up in any way. So I think there's still a focus there, and I don't think there's much risk in that part of it.
Okay.
And why not enjoy it a little bit?
Yeah.
I mean, it was an accomplishment. Is an accomplishment.
Absolutely.
Having made it this far.
You went through the bad times, so you're definitely going to enjoy the good times.
Can I, because I always do anyways, can I take a dark for a minute here? Just because like last week we were on the show right when the plane crash happened with the soccer community.
Yeah,
and
we were at the welcoming. I was, three of us, a lot of us here the night before.
So it kind of broke as we were going off air, and so we were around here doing some karaoke, which we'll talk to you about in a little bit. Now we're not going to force you to karaoke, but we have some karaoke questions.
We'll get your song up though on the list.
But yeah, you can be first up. We'll get you anyway. But it was interesting to watch here as it broke because we kind of figured everything out. And that video, they had just won and they had just celebrated. This was what reminded me of it.
Yeah.
They had done that same kind of like almost the Jingle Bells. It wasn't that, but it was close enough.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking to watch that and look at this community and how close we all are.
Yeah.
And then you look at the soccer community and how we've all come together this week. So it turned a heartbreaking event. Hopefully, it's of course heartbreaking for the families still, but it's just amazing how close.
Yeah, and how the
fortunate we
teams
are.
and the opposing teams. I mean, it's been crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of support.
Yeah.
For sure.
So it's okay.
Passion.
It's I guess what I'm saying is it's okay to celebrate. It's okay to celebrate life and enjoy it because life is short and it's important that you do that and move forward. So. Sorry
Well
to
said.
go dark there. For
Here.
Hit me there for you.
Yeah.
So, I do need a hug. You want to give me a hug? Okay, hold on.
Santa hugs.
Santa hugs. You can sit in my lap later if you want more.
Did you go to the Brad Evans Grinch photo
I did not.
shoot thing
I should have.
with Chad Marshall?
That would have been awesome, actually.
You didn't see that? Oh yeah, Chad went with. I think he brought his dog.
No.
We went Kodo. Kodo was there, and it was like Chad
Someone,
and his
I haven't
kid.
seen that. Someone tweet
And
that.
apparently somebody was like online behind Chad Marshall. And oh yeah, it was Kelly. Yeah, the woman actually who has the Matt Oak thing.
Oh, yeah.
She's online, and I guess talking about, and the person ahead of her was like saying, "Who the hell is that person?" Even like this is weird.
Are you serious?
What?
It was pretty funny.
Oh my god.
So,
yeah. No. Unfortunately, in order for me to go, I've been I drive for Lyft right now while I'm in between, and I've driven like every single minute of every single day for the last like 5 days since Montreal let us down. Thanks, Montreal. I've literally done nothing
Montreal.
but drive in order to make sure I can go this weekend.
Dedication.
Yes.
But yeah, with the Chad Marshall mistaken identity thing, I mean, there's this reputation that in Seattle they get recognized everywhere all the time, but it's only like every once in a while you still get some of that. You still have the they can go anonymous every once in a while.
Yeah.
Now, I remember a couple years ago, I saw Ozzy at the South Center, and I was like, "Where's everybody? Why are people rushing to him, man?"
Well, who are people seeing? Who they say? Oh, Torres. Where do they see Torres? Like in Colorado or something?
Walmart in Dallas.
The
Oh,
Walmart
yes,
in
in
Dallas.
Like he's just in the Walmart,
Just hanging out.
Just- yeah. When you gotta get a couple things, you gotta get a couple
To
things.
the backs.
like
fit-
picking up some
Yeah.
faded glory jeans or something. Like what was he doing?
I have a friend that lives. So Stephen Fry lives near my
yeah.
office in that whole
Yeah.
area of South Lake Union.
Yeah.
Apparently, my friend was at a coffee shop, standing behind him while the barista was talking to him about how impressive the Sounders' win was the night before.
And did he just play through it?
Completely without realizing it
No
was.
way.
No. Oh my god.
Recognizable.
Yeah,
He
he
is
is.
for sure.
Like,
He
of
also
any
does
of
a really good deadpan, so it doesn't surprise me. That
Yeah,
he can play
I can
that.
just see him being like,
Yeah.
yeah, they have been doing pretty well. What do you think about that Stephen Fry guy?
Yeah.
Barista would be like, who?
Yeah.
I heard he has cute puppies.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, he came last year to our tournament, our annual FIFA tournament.
Yeah.
In Lamar's place. Lamar asked him to come because Lamar, we've always been
Shout out to Lamar.
And
What up, bud?
yeah, Lamar and his baby are here in town actually.
Yeah.
They're in town right now.
They're not in Montreal.
No.
Mark.
It's like I don't even know what you're talking about, but it's
There's a lot of insight.
Yeah,
there.
unfortunately that's the show.
Mark went to Montreal
Yeah.
and not realizing that Lamar was in DC and not Montreal again.
Yeah.
He was like, "Hey guys, I'm in Montreal. Lamar, what are you up to?" on Twitter, and everyone's like, "He's in Washington D.C. What are you doing?"
Well, he's actually in Seattle right now. But
Right now.
Yeah.
To be fair, I was 4 hours without a beer.
He hadn't had a beer in 4
And as a
hours.
Coug,
That's
you
long
You
time
couged it.
for a
Like-
cougar.
You cooked it.
Yeah.
it's the reverse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my
great.
god.
Oh my
anyway, so
God.
my point was, we invited him, and so we started a DM to kind of start getting it organized. And the first thing he did is the Elf line. Everyone here's seen Elf, right? The movie
Yeah.
Elf, where he's like, "I need a Mercedes, and it needs to be like whatever a degree." And that was his first tweet to me.
Interaction.
Funny guy.
And I'm like, "Holy crap! I love you. I already loved you already, but oh my god, that's the best thing ever." So he is.
Yeah.
He following up on that. He's hilarious. He
Yeah.
cracks me up. Okay, so where were
We
we?
should have
though?
just done it.
Oh, I wanted to. I mean,
I think we were briefly just talking about random things. I mean, if we're going to talk about Chad Marshall, like maybe people didn't
that's what
recognize Chad Marshall because he wasn't naked.
It's true.
Apparently he is naked
That
all
apparently
the
is
time.
his natural state. Yes.
That or wearing Stephen Fry's clothes, which is some of my favorite
I
stuff.
saw that one.
Fry wears
That
some
was
pretty
pretty funny.
fitted gear, and you're like, Chad's pretty
He's a little
fit
bigger,
guy,
yeah.
But you're like, those jeans are a little small on you, Chad Marshall.
Yeah, my only regret was not getting photographic proof for that story. That the one. That
Oh my god.
Yeah, good times. Good times in the locker room.
I like that. So let's do this. Let's take a break and do our SonarFeed questions, because then we got to come back and we got to talk about what's coming up. We got a lot. There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
There. What's going to
Wait.
happen?
Lock on.
Yes.
So let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do our SonarFeed questions. We have about
Hot seat.
15, 20 questions. Like I said, 10, 15 questions.
We're gonna turn around on you,
Yeah,
and
now-
now
yeah.
we're gonna hit you with some really heat.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start, man. If you don't mind,
Go for it, start.
I want to bring it to him. I mean, what is your favorite kind of taco ever?
I'm partial to like the fish-ish tacos. So I had some shrimp tacos down in LA last time. I don't even remember where I was at exactly, but they were incredibly good.
Solid.
So any fish-based taco.
Fish
I can
based,
get with.
breaded or unbreaded fish?
Breaded.
Ooh, okay.
Letting you down here.
No.
A little.
I couldn't hide the face expression,
All right.
but it's not bad.
Yeah.
I've eaten, breaded. It's good.
Yeah.
It's just
That one time, yeah. Okay.
no solid taco. Solid taco.
Biggie or Tupac?
Tupac.
Interesting. He's from the East Coast
There's a
too.
lot of East Coasters lately that seem
Yeah.
to be answering Tupac. It's interesting.
Interesting.
Do you have a reason for it?
Not particularly.
Okay,
I just prefer his music.
Okay.
Let's
All right.
go.
Doesn't get much deeper than that.
I mean, we're just gonna go all in.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Favorite Girl Scout cookie.
Absolutely.
Ooh.
Favorite
Favorite Girl Scout cookie.
Thin Mints.
Whoa! Whoa! It was nice having you on the show. Matt. Thanks for coming.
I thought that Pentz was gonna hit us with like.
It's been a while since
Yeah.
Thin Mints got a
I
hit.
like those,
by the way,
shortbread ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they are.
Thin Mints are the
And
classics.
Matt can talk about this. So there's a couple of them that are different
Yes.
on the East Coast
Oh, yeah.
than they are. Like the names are different.
What?
You're like, that's the same thing,
Yeah.
but
a tag
with a
along
different
is called
name.
something else over there. The chocolate peanut butter one.
I got nothing.
Samoas.
Samoas are different too.
Samoas.
Those are something else.
They have
Yeah.
coconut.
They're like crap. I don't know. I
Yeah.
just don't.
Whatever. They're the
I
greatest.
don't like coconut, so that's
Then
why I
don't eat-
look.
don't eat
That's why I know.
cookies.
I was all excited about eating cookies that you and Beth made,
Aaron's not having
And I'm like-
cookies, yo.
and I'm like, dang, would you like a coconut cookie?
I'm all set for
Okay.
now.
Okay.
It's your turn.
All right.
Now, maybe he doesn't like coconut either.
Yeah. Okay.
You lost your space.
Okay. This is kind of a multiple part question.
Okay.
It's morphed over the years here. Have we done this one?
really good, man.
You
did a
you
good-
can bake.
Man, this is good.
It's like 2 cups of peanut butter, yo.
What historical figure do you identify with, and do you like admire / enjoy?
That's a deep question.
Yeah.
Like I
Let's
said,
go
these are-
Gandhi. Let's go Gandhi.
Ooh.
Okay.
All
now,
in.
now, what historical figure would you like to go into a bouncy house with?
You have just made Matt so happy. He was talking about bouncy houses like 10 minutes ago.
Oh, was he good? Yeah, because Matthew, one of our good friends here,
Yeah.
he came in and like that was one of his questions, and so that's now been added to our normal routine here because it's the best question ever.
I'd go Benjamin Franklin. He's got a lot of character going on there.
Benjis.
That's-
The
That dude
Benjis
would have
too.
something in his pocket, though, that would
Yeah.
pop the bouncy
Yeah,
house.
it totally
but would
would.
somehow then make the bouncy house fly.
Yes.
That
and
sounds
that's what I want to be
about
part
right.
of there.
Okay, and then the third part of this question is who would play you in a movie
Oh, that's
about the
a good
life
one.
of Matt Pentz?
Historical figure?
No.
No.
For
Actor.
who? Actor, whoever.
In your bio.
And that's a Lisa question over there. She's asked that one for a long time.
So Todd Millis at TNT, who's filling in for Don Ruiz, he says that I remind him constantly of Christian Slater, so we're gonna go with that.
Christian
Oh
Slater.
my God!
Yeah.
Is this
Pump
like
up the volume.
Heather-
Damn.
Adam sees it.
Heather.
Adam sees
Christian
it.
Slater or like current Christian Slater?
Or like Vegas. What was that Vegas movie? The
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
no, I didn't right.
The chat room is
No.
saying Chris Pratt.
Oh,
Chris Pratt. Yeah, I see Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
You have some good
I
options.
can see
there.
Christian
Proud
Slater.
Seattle.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see Christian
Yeah,
Slater too.
that'll do.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, you got another one?
Yes. I'm gonna stick with food here. If you're in death row, what is your last meal and drink?
Oh, that is good.
And why did you kill Ryan Divish?
And why did you kill Ryan Divish?
Damn.
There would be many reasons. Not Ryan Divish. Oh, last meal anywhere. Probably some kind of Indian food, so get some lamb curry going.
Really? That is unique. Any recommendations in town for that?
Annapurna. Get
Okay.
Annapurna on Capitol Hill. That's one of my favorites.
Annapurna?
Maybe just have
That's a
them
good call.
cater it. We'll have Annapurna cater it.
Nice.
Garlic naan.
Shout out,
We'll
man.
go with their momos.
Someone tag them. Let them know. They're getting a big plug here. Nice.
Yeah, so we'll go catered by Annapurna, and then we'll
Annapurna.
go old fashioned is the last.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
nice.
Good call.
I think that's next
They actually
round. We're
make a
gonna
pretty
go
good
with
old
that.
fashioned here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go that next round.
Check that out
Yeah.
later.
Okay.
So we're getting Matt drunk tonight. That's how we get him to do karaoke.
We can
Exactly.
bring you home. That's fine.
Yeah.
I know somebody. So
So
Exactly.
what's something you've purchased recently for less than $100
yeah.
that's like valuable or important to you or like really helpful in your day to day? Could be anything.
Valuable day to day. That's tough.
I mean, it could be like
Yeah.
you could
Yeah,
use
something
it
that
in
impacts
but
you.
it's really
Yeah,
helpful.
well-
like it could be a new colander and you really love spaghetti.
yeah.
It could be an ice cube tray. An ice
We're gonna
cube
get a
tray.
bigger picture.
Okay.
I'm flying home for Christmas.
Okay.
Bought Amtrak to go to New York to visit friends for
There you go.
Less than $100.
There you go.
play.
Solid.
There you go.
That's an
Wind
excellent
down
answer.
from the long run here.
Okay. Book. What is the last book you read? And or like, do you have a favorite author?
Last book was 100 Years of Solitude.
100 Years of Solitude.
One of my favorites.
100 Years of Solitude. Okay.
And
the
then
cookie's really
favorite
good, yo.
author, probably Salman Rushdie. I've always liked his stuff.
Okay. That's a good choice. I like your answers here so far. Okay. What else do we have
I
here?
got a question.
Go ahead.
Go-to karaoke song.
There you go.
None.
All right, I'm calling in. I'm tapping in.
Anti-karaoke. I'm a horrible
Like,
singer.
is it because you don't want to sing?
Yes.
Or because you hate karaoke, or both?
It's both. It's both. Definitely.
So, okay.
I'm not trying to
Jacob?
crap on your guys' whole package.
That's fine.
No.
What are you singing for me?
Yeah. So what are you singing tonight? Is the follow-up question.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm going to stick with the
you
original
said,
nothing.
If you said A Whole New World.
Sub in. Sub. I'm calling in a
Tap it
sub.
out.
We're gonna call this up. We're gonna bring in. We're gonna bring in Dave Clark here for a moment here.
What tactical sub just happened?
Yeah.
Or is it because Ugo wants to go eat all the cookies?
I think he went to go eat all the cookies because Hugo was getting yelled at for the chewing into the.
All right,
the
Dave,
mic.
you're up.
Hi.
I don't know what's going on.
Hi. Hi, Dave. How are
We're
you?
asking Matt SonarFeed
We're
questions.
finishing up the questions.
Oh, cool.
Are any SonarFeed questions? Like, favorite director? Do you have a favorite director? Oh, I guess there's nobody to
Not
put it.
enough of a movie buff to even have one like.
How about documentaries? Do you watch any like a favorite soccer documentary? If you watch, because you have a soccer love.
Yeah, the two Escobars, the ESPN
Oh my God.
30.
Yeah.
Good call.
That's a great documentary. Absolutely. 1000% agree. I'm trying to think. Do we have any more questions before we go in? Because then we're going to talk.
We got the book. We got the actor. Because I heard that was
Okay, good.
Christian Slater from his cameo in
Hey, that's
Star
a good idea.
Trek,
Why don't you
right?
bring up our questions online so we actually see them? Good.
Well,
I've
'cause
never
I know the
asked
ones I
Wilson
wanted to
narrow
ask,
down
but-
the exact era.
So if you could, I'm going to tweak this slightly.
Ooh.
If you could tell 18-year-old Matt Pentz something
Oh,
right
yeah,
now,
that's a good one.
Yeah.
what would it be?
Don't go on SonarFeed. No, okay, sorry.
That's a good question. I guess, I don't know, push your boundaries a little bit more. I guess that probably took me a little bit longer to do that than before. But yeah,
Good answer.
All right.
something that you learn a little bit
Yeah.
later down the road that's a beneficial thing to do. It's probably that.
Okay.
Something you believe that others think is crazy.
That the Ohio Bobcats will one day win a men's basketball national.
Follow up. If you had to choose between the University of Michigan and Ohio State, why would it not be Michigan?
Remember back to the question earlier? Yeah. no.
You are putting me in a really hard
That's
place.
actually the worst person you could ask this question
You could
to.
have asked anyone else. In this
I
video.
know.
I
I
can
know.
never say a
I'm just dogging on.
Yeah, I'm from Michigan. So.
He's from Michigan. Obviously, you hate Ohio State,
Do it, so this is tough. You're
Yeah.
putting us in a tough spot.
Yeah.
and that's why it would be Toledo.
Is that your question? Words or phrases that you overuse?
Definitely just like adverbs in general. But
You like words that end in ly?
yes,
Yeah.
too many LYs.
Okay.
So yes.
Is it
We're
just
gonna go
because
with
they
the
end
whole
in
genre
ly?
there. Get too descriptive.
Okay.
Sometimes. Too cute. I guess.
So you like German then? Because you can have like.
I can
It's just
tell
one
what
word.
it's
Like-
yes.
I was watching a James Bond the other day because I'm trying to binge on them all on
Oh,
Hulu.
that's right. Yeah.
And I forget they were in Switzerland or something, and it was like something on the top of a mountain, and the word they used to describe it was like 4 words long.
Yeah.
Like 4 English words, whatever. But my favorite one is Rocketflugplatz, which is rocket flying place, or launch pad, if you speak English.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, German, that's great.
Beautiful
Way
language.
to go. All right, so adverbs.
Holy crap! Jason Ross from the Ashes. Oh my God! Holy crap! He's been threatening to
Longest-
come down for like a year.
Longest
I'm not
sentence
here.
you've managed to sneak into
I
the
am
paper.
too. Holy
Yeah.
crap! Sorry, that was.
I would have to look. I would have to go deep on that one. Or probably like go by commas. Probably like 4 or 5 commas in a single sentence. I don't recall the exact sentence.
So, like upper 20s,
Yeah,
probably. Yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
And
I'm definitely more,
totally like.
yeah, definitely more of a run-on guy than like a short, choppy sentence guy. So I probably pushed that a little bit.
Sorry, this show's like flying. That was
That's
like-
okay. I asked a
awesome.
question while you were distracted.
Okay,
I
good.
like
Yeah,
the
good.
dynamic here.
Good. Yeah, that one's the last.
You're
Trying to-
good.
I can't
Now,
ask
there's one
Lickett's
that
question.
You had about your Michigan question threw me off.
Yeah.
Darren, I was like, it was awesome. It was good. I mean, I appreciate it, but
Anything to make fun of you.
yeah, no, I appreciate it. Hey, please do. I am Santa after all, so just be aware. I'm going to ask this now, even though it's usually for later. But do you have any asks for our audience, like things that you want us to do, like we can help you with? I mean, other than obviously subscribing to the
Retweet all your
Times,
stories.
Yes.
retweet your stories,
Yes.
obviously, etc.
Read.
Read.
Yeah.
Okay.
What does that mean?
Click on the story, scroll through.
Yeah.
Even if you just leave it open, at least it counts that there's engagement there.
Okay, that's the most. I mean, because we all do, right? We all see it. I mean, it's one of the hard things. We talked about this with Dave too. It's that hard thing of how do you bring those clicks are important,
Yeah.
and you guys do a lot of tweets, which is great. But then you got to drive into the story too.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Yeah, and I guess
Go
it
out there
would
and do
be, yeah, and a little bit go a little easier on my Seattle Times editors for placement and stuff sometimes, because I think that we do a fairly good job of covering in our own way. I know that it's not always. I would always rather have it
Above the fold,
yeah,
on the
above
first page, yeah.
fold,
Yeah.
top story in sports.
Yeah.
You want
all the
above fold,
time.
right?
yeah,
But that does seem to irk people a lot and maybe turn some people off in a way that sometimes just give it a shot, read our coverage, and
yeah. It's something that we definitely have as soccer fans, have this. We've talked about it a lot over the
Small time syndrome, basically.
Yeah,
Like,
it is. It is.
Adrian said it when we had him at like his live Q&A before the 2011 end of season,
yeah.
and somebody asked him, "Hey, what can we do to make your life easier?" And he's like, "Quit being so defensive and accept newcomers
Yeah.
to the sport." Like, there's a lot of soccer fans can be jerks to non-soccer fans, and yes, you've been treated poorly over time, but the way to get more people to like you is not to berate them constantly.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Be a little more open.
Yeah.
Be a little more welcoming to the community.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go into MLS Cup.
Let's talk about that.
What's MLS Cup?
Oh, sorry, the MLS Cup, is that better?
No, just kidding.
Audi MLS Cup final presented by Audi.
Is that what it is now?
Maybe it's presented by Continental.
I
can't
thought
keep
that
track.
was Heineken fans
No
group.
one knows. Just
Okay.
go with it.
Okay, we'll go with that. Matt wants to know, are snowshoes allowed on the pitch?
No.
Okay.
Toronto will know how to clear a pitch.
They will. Absolutely.
Trana.
If anybody, they will. Okay, so let's go into the match.
Yeah.
We talked about it a little bit at the beginning of the show here, obviously, but like what does the team need to do to kind of get us, over there? Like they're going to fly in, they're going to practice a couple times, and then where do they go from? What do they need to do to get to the next level here? To win the cup? What do you guys like?
They need Alonso to get healthy in time, first of all.
Do you think that's the key critical piece? Is Alonso?
I think that they certainly need him to be at their best, and I mean that's kind of been their story for a while now. Right? I mean, he's kind of the guy that you need in there. So the fact that he is probably their most serious injury concern is certainly a concern. So that would be step one: get him healed up, ready to go.
Are there any other
Yeah,
current?
because if he doesn't have the lateral movement, you're basically counting on Roldan to run and try to follow Giovinco around.
Yeah.
And I'd much rather they share that duty. But if Alonso's below 90%, then it changes his game. And obviously he's going to play, but it's just how hampered is he going to be? And the two of them together do a lot of great things about transitioning from defense to attack so well. Alonso, that part, even with his injury, should be okay.
Yeah.
But his ability to charge up late and to cover the best player in the league.
Yeah.
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 Because that area of the field will be so critical because he's so smart about using space and finding those spaces that having Alonso there would be a huge boost for Seattle.
So if Alonso doesn't for some reason start, which we hope he does, but then it's Freeberg and Roldan splitting that.
I would think so, yeah.
Or
with
Evans with Freeberg up right.
Potentially, they haven't played that in so long.
Uh-huh.
That'd be a tough one to come in right for the end.
Yeah, I mean, they
And Ivanchitz is back.
Yep.
I mean,
Roldan's the destroyer, probably.
And
if
now-
Alonso's
in that
healthy, we
role.
know 10 of the spots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's that
Right.
that other wing has been forced by injury so often that if this match he's basically going to have full selection,
Yeah. It's
and it'll be
looking
the
that
first
way.
time.
Yeah.
So is Ozzy really the only person right now that's questionable at all?
Seriously questionable. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
there are some
Evans and
guys with-
Freeberg were hurt.
There are some guys with concerns for sure.
Sure.
But I would think that
Yeah,
he's the most
Jordan
significant
Jordan
one.
seems to be good.
Yeah.
From what we
Well,
hear.
I hope Jordan gets the
After
flu on
yelling at his-
Thursday.
after yelling at his dad a little bit.
That interview
That was
afterwards was
fantastic.
great. Yeah. Well, I wanted to say something on the pitch to him that I would never say ever to his face, which is great. So, Jordan, yeah. All right. So so other than on Ozzy, there's really not much.
Doesn't seem like it, I think. And as Schmetzer has kind of put it, I mean, this is the biggest game in a lot of these players' careers. I mean, if they can move, they're going to
gonna play.
be out there and ready to go.
Okay.
What was it? I think 3 of the guys have made MLS Cup before. Marshall, Evans. Well, Sturgis probably did because he's been on every team in the league. And Herc way, way back,
Yeah, it's been a while.
like 11 years
Is that
ago.
it? Just 3?
4 then. Because I'm pretty certain Sturgis,
Sturgis, yeah.
probably in one of the Houston stops or his LA stop. His RSL was 08, so no.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Those
could probably
the
look
first
this up
3
on the internet.
for
Yeah, we
certain.
should.
And I mean, Sturgis has just been on so many teams it's hard to remember.
Yeah. They do have some guys though that have also been in big games elsewhere between Nico and
Yeah.
Nelson
Yeah.
and even
There's
Milan. I mean,
like
you've got
2/3 of the
Ivanchik.
roster have a title somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Like
it's-
George Morris last year
Yeah.
scored in the College Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Throughout the College Cup, pretty much.
Yeah.
the entire
Yeah.
way through.
Exactly.
You know,
And he beat a team internationally as well, right? He helped score.
he's beat Mexico twice.
Oh, twice.
Once with the senior team and once with the U23s.
So yeah, so while this is a first year, so while this is a first time MLS Cup finalist, they certainly have much more experience in games like that than you would probably think.
All right, so going in, their rating, or ESPN, right, came out with their SPI, right, at like 60-40, I think, wasn't it? Or whatever.
Yeah, basically.
It's basically just, it's home field advantage, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no, that's all that is. There's
Yeah.
no other, like, when you look at the matchup, like 1 to 11, how do you guys feel, like, 1 to 11, if we have our best 11?
It does almost feel like a genuine toss-up between the way
Real
that they're
toss-up.
both playing
Yeah.
with the way. I actually, on a neutral site, I actually think that Seattle would have a slight advantage because they just seem to sort of have a little bit more momentum going to me.
Okay.
But take a little bit of that away for Toronto being at home, and it just seems almost 50-50 down the middle to me. That feel right to you? Or?
Seattle is capable of a shutout, too,
Yeah.
even against that offense.
Yeah.
And Toronto is not capable of a shutout against any offense.
Yeah.
So
I really like
I-
Clint Irwin, but not
I was
that
talking to
much.
some people about this today, and it does. I don't trust Toronto's defense in any way, but I will say that if you look at the numbers, that I think they led the Eastern Conference in goals against, and they shut out New York City in both legs of that series. So, but for sure against Montreal, I mean, you look at that series, and it's like, yeah, no way would you trust that defense. But
However, you said the key word there, Eastern Conference.
well,
I don't think that's
Eastern
quite
Conference
what it
thing
once
this
was.
Okay.
year was
Yeah,
some-
okay.
Not-
even
People have
worse
been
last
ins-
year.
The disparity isn't
As
quite
bad.
So you're
Okay.
saying Eric Zavaleta?
I mean,
is
it's not like the
your
ninth
top
team in the
defender?
East managed to make a run in the final 3 months of the season to wind up an MLS Cup.
Well, that didn't happen either. Oh, yeah, no, yeah, that's right.
You know, you look, yeah, DC United made a late charge to do really well, but,
Yeah.
you know, Houston and Chicago are both garbage.
Yeah.
And separating those two is hard.
Yeah.
You know, Orlando was pretty okay.
Yeah.
You know,
I think this has been as even as I can remember.
the two conferences thing, it's the East has more bad defenses.
Yeah.
I mean, Montreal had a defense. If you're just going goals against in the regular season, they had if they were in the West, they'd have the second worst defense in the league. Yeah, so it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I'm not worried about any set piece stuff from Toronto against this team.
No.
No.
They're not going to do that against a Chad Marshall and a Torres,
No.
a possible Brad Evans. So I'm not worried about that. I mean, that's 3 of their goals right there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, it's really going to come down to just if I think Brian said today that he was talking about getting their feet under them for the first like 5 or 10 minutes, and then trying to take charge.
Yeah.
And if they can establish, that's what they've tried to do so often, is to become the proactive team and dominate. And we should get some kind of impression of that about 15, 20 minutes in.
Yeah.
Well, I think, and I'm not picking on Siggy here, but when you look at it, feels like, anyways, that we came out more aggressive in each of the matches this playoff season. That to feel it again, maybe it's just my impression, maybe it's I want to feel that way, but it feels like we came out more aggressive than previously.
Well, some of the talk has been, I think that Evans even sort of described it this way, that the way that they do the 2-leg series is in the way that they put it up, with the highest seed being the one that hosts the first game, that might even be an advantage.
Yeah.
And I think that might be part of the explanation behind why Seattle's been more aggressive, because they've had all their first legs have been at home both times.
Right.
It's given them
Interesting.
the freedom to come out
And do
just
that.
go at them right away in a way that
Okay.
hasn't always broken that way.
Sure,
in
okay.
playoffs past.
So he was also, I just got the impression that he was just more conservative when it came to the playoffs. It's typical of American coaches in multi-game series.
Yeah.
Or heck, even in the NFL. Everybody tightens up in the playoffs. And part of what Schmetzer's culture is to be a little more loose.
Yeah.
Just in approach and attitude. Definitely attitude, like in the locker room. I think that shift through the year. It's kind of funny because you had that story about Nico's like music off.
Yeah.
And then Torres came back and he's like, music is right back on and we're dancing. And so like the first several times, like Nico's just sitting there like, what is this? And then I think after he realized the team is winning a lot and it doesn't really matter if music's on or off, if that's happening. So it's like,
Yeah. Winning helps a lot of different things, especially in the way that they have down the stretch.
So what dumb question, other than what do you and Javinko have in common, do you expect to hear asked to a player on either team this week?
Great question.
I actually
Tom.
liked.
That's like the best question.
We're not. This is nowhere near like Super Bowl levels of media day or anything.
Yeah.
But you know,
I've
there's
got
going to be
one.
something.
I know
Like,
which one
what
it
do
is,
you
though.
think it's going to be?
So to preempt that a little bit, I cannot just describe how happy I am that the Seahawks won a couple years ago, so that we do not have to have does this count as a major sports trophy thing?
Thank
Because that would have
Great.
been
To
Yes.
end the.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like I do not want to have to deal with that whole. So I'm glad that's not happening. I'm sure that how do the Sounders compare to the Seahawks in your city will be asked, and that's always
A
my
zillion times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that will
And
be
they'll
a
ask
question
like
that comes up.
Nico Ladero, and he'll be like, I actually don't care.
Hey, he was
But-
on the big screen, wasn't he, last night?
Yeah, he was one of the 5 players
Yeah.
that they
Yeah.
put up leading the.
Yeah.
Yeah, did a good crowd
The
last night. Five or six.
Seahawks.
Yeah.
Call repeat.
That's pretty good, yeah.
I actually liked the Nico Giovinco question. I know that they're different styles of player,
Yeah.
but as Evan said, they use space in similar ways,
Yes.
and where they are on the field and how they approach that is the same. So a lot of people are like, "Well, it's different." I mean, this guy's got nearly 20 goals, and this guy's only got 8. But if you look at their approach to space and how they perceive defenses, it's similar. What they do with it is different. Nico looks to pass first, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gio
Giovinco scored.
does
That
it.
shoots.
They're both just so aggressive as well, just
Yep.
in different ways.
Yeah.
For sure.
Nico actually plays defense. Gio.
Yeah. Well, Nico goes way back. I mean, he goes all the way back to play when he needs to, which is great.
So the most recent. Wait, did somebody just ask that? Was somebody asking Andres Ivanschitz
about the
what
cold?
it's like to play in the cold?
Yeah. In
That
That
Austria.
is
Reminder-
actually maybe the dumbest question
Yeah.
ever.
Andres Ivanschitz is Austrian. You might have heard that.
No, it's
they're
hot
the
in Austria.
Alps.
It's like 140 degrees.
That's Australia.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
You were supposed to just run with
I mean,
Oh, sorry, I mean,
you
no,
weren't
really?
there for it, but at the greet for the charter,
Yeah.
Yeah.
none of the local TV stations people that do show up. I mean, there are
Yeah.
some TV that get the same cameraman there all the time,
Yeah.
like for practices. But it's 9:30 on a Sunday night, so it was not those guys. And somebody's like, "So Brian, what's it like to coach your first championship now that you're with the Sounders?" And he's like, "Well, talking about 05 and
Yeah.
07 and the legacy and it."
Yeah.
He just dropped the microphone on the
Yeah.
ground and walked away.
Oh, so I went on a radio show in Australia, believe it or not. It was
Wow.
After they won the Western Conference, and the first question was, how influential has Clint Dempsey been throughout this run? But like with the implication that he had been playing this entire time, how much of a role do you think he's going to play in the finals?
Did
And
you
what's
actually
and
just
what was
did
your
you take
answer?
a deep breath?
Tell me you answered.
I kind of just played it off.
The straight answer is pretty simple. He was really important for the 4 or 5 games that he had.
over the last couple. Yeah. So I would
Was
say
it 4 games he scored 5 goals?
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if somebody a little bit unprepared asked one of the Sounders how they're gonna play in Dempsey on Saturday.
Yeah.
So how many goals does Martin score on Saturday?
That would be even better.
Did you see what Shanghai Shenhua is about to do?
I did not.
Carlos Tevez for like $40 million a year.
Don't let him go there.
way.
Taking him away from Boca.
Yeah,
That's a great
so
story,
they're-
anyway.
What?
Yeah, so you're talking a forward partnership of Obafemi Martins and Carlos Tevez
That's actually
I'll watch
unfair.
that.
that will
Yeah, I'll watch it
cost
too.
them
Absolutely,
like
yeah.
$50 million
dollars
a
for
year.
those two. Oh my gosh.
And they have silly rules. They're going to win games like 5-3. But yeah, that was a little thing. You mentioned Oba, so I thought to bring it up.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Okay. What other questions about the game here? Obviously, the cold has been mentioned, and we joked about it early on. You know, it was cold out here. Well, it's not really cold out here, but it's cold.
Not Toronto.
It's not Toronto.
December.
Oh, you know what? We forgot to
not
ask. That's what it
York in
was.
December
No,
either.
we forgot to ask one question. It ties together.
yeah.
We forgot to ask a SonarFeed question that ties into this question. Socks and sandals. How do you feel about them?
Against.
You're for them? Okay, cool.
No.
So he's for them.
Words matter, man.
Yeah, I know.
You're gonna die in Canada.
Yeah. So literally every game I wear, and right now I'm actually wearing socks and sandals. So how stupid is it going to be to wear socks and sandals
Pretty
in Toronto?
It's going to be very dumb.
Okay.
You're from
Not-
Michigan. You're not an idiot.
No, I
I
know,
might actually
know.
throw you in the lake.
That would kill me, but no. Hey,
It
no.
might be even more foolhardy than MLS scheduling this game at like 8:15 Eastern time, whenever this was.
Is there an
possible.
official start time?
Do you actually think
Not
it's going to
yet.
be that
Not-
early?
not
Because
heard.
I'm going with
8:30?
8:22.
Yeah, or 8:33, kind of
Although it's
8:19.
it's on Big Fox, right?
It's on Big Fox, yeah.
So maybe 8:15.
Might be more normal.
Yeah.
But regardless, if it goes extra time and penalties, it's going to be very late and very cold.
So it was 32, right? Or it's 32 out there right now, and it's cold for Seattle, right? I mean, for Seattle. I mean, from home, where I'm from Michigan, it's not. This is nothing, right? That's why I'm wearing short sleeve right now, because it's not a big deal. But you tweeted it earlier, and it's absolute God honest truth. Layer, people. Like, I am bringing my ski gear. Like, I'm bringing what I wear when I go skiing up in there. I'm wearing, like, it's cold. It's
Burn
going to
it
be cold.
down.
When you get off that lake, I've been there. When you get BMO, when you get that lake effect there, it's cold. Regardless of what the temperature says, it's going to be like
Man,
zero.
I'm
basically.
just
It's
thinking
gonna
about
feel
that
like
first time
zero.
your ankle gets kicked as you're out there. Like,
Oh.
It is horrible.
How much do you think the weather will affect the game? I mean, I know it's a silly standard question, but just, I mean, you guys watch a lot of soccer, cover a lot of soccer. How much will it affect the game?
A little bit, for sure. I think that Garth will be having just these horrible flashbacks to the 2013 game in Kansas City that was just this awful game played on a block of ice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be quite that bad, but it certainly has the impact to certainly play a part in how it's played.
well, the people at BMO are like that. Their field's crew is competent, and I don't know that I can say that about Sporting Kansas City. I mean, you look at their field, even in good weather, it's got those big chunks and divots in it, even before the game starts. I'm more thinking that it'll just be a little slow. People are going to be, slow to react after getting tackled. Everything's going to hurt just a little bit more. And only one team is going to have joy at the end.
But I don't think it's unlike going to Colorado, whether you agree with Schmetzer or not on, altitude
Yeah.
and whatever. I don't think Toronto has an advantage. They're not playing in December
No.
normally.
No.
And it's not to say it's not cold in March or cold in November or
Yeah.
October even in Toronto, or, have a really bad cold, chilly day there here and there during the season. I don't think they have an advantage, though. I think it's cold soccer
and
for everybody.
Yeah, and you're not going to build a team to play in the cold.
Yeah,
weather.
it's just not the thing. It's not. You're not building the 1987 New York Giants to play, run the ball all over the place.
You
Like,
could
it's a
say
different
Sporting
thing.
KC is built for the cold.
Wow.
Unintentionally, but yes.
Yeah.
They were.
By the way, somebody asked today, maybe it was Dylan, is there actually a snow ball that MLS has?
There's an orange
They'll
ball,
have
right?
them ready.
Is there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They used it earlier this season.
I hadn't seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, March, right?
I think
someone
Colorado
I think Paul,
actually was where it
Paul,
was
Paul
used
tweeted
last.
it. Yeah, he's gonna find it and tweet it out.
Good
from the
times.
SonarFeed account. But yeah, there's an actual orange ball that you can buy at Schmetzer Sports House. By the way, you're welcome, Brian.
Plugs in it.
You're making it happen, aren't you?
I really am.
I really hope he's watching. 'cause
I
it's
hope
gonna
so.
Make it so much better.
Yeah, I can't wait for him to like after the game to go. Do you really want to marry me, Aaron? Thanks.
gonna
You know,
slide
but no
into your
thanks.
DMs.
He's totally. Actually, I haven't looked at my phone. Maybe I should be worried. But yeah, Hugo, you have been paged back here when you're ready.
What are you doing?
Tweeting about the show.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Someone has to.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. So, last comments here, Dave. We're gonna bring Hugo back in.
I'll ask Lickett's question,
Okay.
but I'm probably gonna have to frame it for you. Are you aware of the Reddit theory that you and Jeremiah Oshen have beef with each other?
I am not aware of that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we
Wait,
saw
was that on the AMA today?
No, it wasn't. He would be aware of it if
Yeah,
somebody brought it up.
Yeah, no, I did not.
Yeah, somebody about I think it was like a week and a half ago was like, does Jeremiah have beef with Matt Pentz? And if so, why?
Should we like squash it or
I-
encourage it?
I-
I think we could probably do either.
We should have a battle rap.
a battle
that
rap
happen.
or a rap
We've
battle.
been over my
No, like,
we've
do
been
a
over
battle
my
rap right
distaste
now.
for karaoke and
True. Doesn't
musical
mean
arts
couldn't.
there.
All right, so
Yeah, but no, I think I can confirm that we do not have.
Let's
the-
follow up. Let's do a follow-up question. So you're in what would be considered traditional media. You are in what's considered alternative media. I mean, for lack of a better term, right?
Sure.
But what's great about this community, it feels like we get along. Like, I mean, and we're just fans here having a good time, having drinks and talking with folks like yourself. So it's a great community that we're able to kind of do this like free flow. We right now we have a fan-based podcast, alternative and traditional media.
Yeah.
And there's not a like I hate you, Matt or Dave, or whatever. It's like it feels like there's more of a community.
For sure, and yeah, and I don't think there is an adversarial thing. I don't think there should be or
No.
And even if you look at whenever Don was still with the TNT, I mean, traditionally we would have been
Like rivals.
fighting over scraps and everything
Yeah.
else, and I mean, it was never like that either. He was always gracious from the beginning. So
Yep.
yeah, so I don't think there's an adversarial thing.
No.
In any of the ways that.
yeah, and back like when I did practices more frequently, we'd talk about like what angles we were pursuing,
Yeah,
and it'd be
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, and there'd be like disappointment if we were all heading to the same place, but we
Yeah.
also in general tried to look for unique stuff because you don't want 4 versions of the same story.
For sure.
And, that just doesn't give you the depth. So if there's any sort of rivalry, it's more about just coming up with an idea that's different and unique and finding ways to approach it. Now, the good news for me, since I'm not going to practice, I don't get to do that. I can write weird, like, creative nonfiction and stuff, and so I just get to write for fun now.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that either.
Yeah.
No.
That's adding to it in your own way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do predictions.
Yeah. And then we're gonna bring Hugo back in for a few minutes here and to wrap up.
I mean, okay.
Yeah. But let's do predictions. Predictions. Dave, should we start with you? Put you right in the hot seat.
I was
I know you
hoping
don't.
to keep this secret, but now the 15 or so here and however many are listening are going to know, we just let out we're about to put out another little YouTube video with me and the lead blogger over at Waking the Red. And I got to ask my prediction first, and I predicted a Sounders loss.
Ooh.
Of 2-1 in extra time.
Really? No. Yeah. That's okay. All right.
And,
That's fair.
I mean, their offense is good, and they're playing at home. And in MLS, if you're playing at home, you pretty much get a 2-1 win. But I think I think extra time will be forced. So
Okay. So let's go back to this a few minutes ago. We talked about the beef between you and Jeremiah. It's actually between us and Dave. No, I'm just kidding. But that's hey, I mean that's no, yeah, we're gonna get it back. But no, that's interesting. So you actually feel like if you were putting money in Vegas right now, you feel a 1-2 result.
The good news about it is if I'm right, I can be like, I was the only right guy.
Yeah.
And if I'm wrong, I get to go to a parade on like Tuesday or Wednesday next week.
Right. So
I mean, I'd be happy to be wrong.
in your heart of hearts, though, is that what you're thinking?
I mean, if you're asking for a prediction, the point of the prediction is to accurately predict the score.
Yeah.
Obviously I write very emotionally often.
Yeah.
But I don't think a prediction is the time for an emotional moment.
No. Well, I mean, yeah, because every time I do, it's emotional. But that's good. Really? Yeah, I know. Believe it or not, I know.
Hashtag TMI.
Yeah.
Should we let Matt go last?
Yeah. Let's let Matt go last.
I'm going to say 2-1 Sounders, not in extra time. Yeah, I think 2-1 feels to me like the score, one way or the other. Like, when you wake up in the morning and you're like, feels like 2-1. Yeah, that's what it feels like to me. I just feel like they're rolling right now, and as like offensive as Toronto had a game the other day. Yeah, it just feels like it's coming.
Yeah, I think so. I'm torn because of course I knew this was going to be asked tonight. I've been thinking about it all day, and I'm torn between
7-0 and
no, because I've said 2-1 like a lot. That's like my go-to, and I'm torn between 1-0 and 2-0. Stefan coming up big against his former team. I just feel like there's something about Stefan. He just has that piece about him, and I know he wouldn't necessarily talk about that. And I know Herc has his. You wrote the article right about Herc this week, and he tweeted back, which was awesome. I thought that was a great exchange.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I think his tweet was more headline directed than story directed.
No, absolutely.
I think
1,000%.
let's throw your editor under the bus. They're not listening tonight.
You threw on the good-natured winky face.
Yeah, no, exactly. Well, that's Herc too, right?
So it was all right.
Herc is that way, totally. It's awesome. But I'm torn between 1-0, 2-0. That's. I really think that Jordan and/or Nico score.
We deserve this.
Yes, we do.
We are going to win 2-0.
We're 2-0. Jeremy says 2-0 officially on the air, but it's 1-0, 2-0.
It's going to happen.
Locked
Yeah,
in.
yeah. 1-0, 2-0. That's where I'm at. Anyways, personally.
Or actually, I think it might be 2-1.
2-1. Okay.
They will pull one through.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Matt, how about over to
I
you?
put it out there earlier today. I was 2-1 Sounders in extra time.
2-1 extra time. Okay.
In extra time for sure. And I mean,
Sounds
and
exhausting.
Sort of building off. I mean, once you get to extra time, like I said from the beginning, it just feels like such a 50-50.
If they make
Yeah.
extra
Once
time,
you get to extra time.
I'll be happy if they make extra time because I know that'll just be pure chaos and anything that can happen. I'll also be happy if they win in regulation.
And
I want to be wrong. I mean,
Yeah, I want. Yeah.
And it just seems like there has been this sort of fortitude that had everything, just no matter what had happened to the Sounders during the stretch run. You got Dempsey out, you got Evans hurt, all those things that happened. Found a way to get it done to this point.
Yeah.
And if you get it to extra time, when sort of everything, like you said, everything's in chaos, everybody's running all over the place, it just seems like they have more guys that can come up with that moment that late. But I think that they would ultimately be the one that sort of shades it in that way.
Yeah.
All right. Unrelated to this, we'll ask this in a few minutes here. Okay, so let's grab Hugo back in here. Dave, thank you very much for coming in tonight. We
Thanks,
love you. Sam Souderhart, the best. Thank you. No high five. We'll see you in a minute.
I'm not.
I know you're not leaving. Hugo's just taking pictures over there.
Dave wants to sing 311.
Oh, we should totally sing 311. All right, Hugo. I know you're still getting set up here.
Yeah.
But big question for you. Prediction?
I had thought about at 3-1 Sounders.
Damn.
I know.
A lot of confidence.
Better
I
than
know.
7-0.
I did. I know. I don't know, man. I just.
But it's so.
I know it's gonna be hard. I know they're really good. They got superstar players, and I don't know, man. I just think that we, like you said earlier, we're rolling. We have a great goalkeeper. Our defense, for all the talk about Colorado's defense, man, we shut those guys out. And I know they don't score a lot, but we've done good against a really high-octane team like Dallas, a really stronghold defensive team like Denver.
Yep.
And we score goals.
Yeah.
And we stop people from scoring goals. I think
It goes back to what
them.
Matt said. You know, if Alonso's healthy and available, that changes everything.
No, that's huge.
That change. I mean, we're all assuming that at least mine is on a full 11, right? That's
Mine
our
too.
starting 11.
Yeah, me too. I mean, obviously, I would change my prediction a lot
If Alonso was out, it'd be
he's-
different. It'd be a different thought right now.
If he's not 100, which it sounds like maybe he's not going to be, then I might have to change my prediction.
I don't
but-
know.
It's sort of been a sliding thing that I went from Schmetzer immediately.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to play no matter what.
Yeah.
He's
If I was a betting
if
man-
I were a betting man, so we'll see what he says
Yeah.
on Wednesday and later this week. But I think I'm not even going to put a number on whether he's going to play or not. But certainly that's the most important factor right now.
Right.
And we'll see where he's at later this week.
And I think I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not like blind faith, like, oh, we're just gonna win. It's gonna be the best thing ever. But it feels this team. So, I mean, I said it before. I haven't shaved since July. I quit my job in July. It was all personal reasons. It wasn't because of that. I mean, and it's happened.
It was because you wanted to go on a Sounders run.
I totally wanted
He
to go
was
Sounders
like,
run.
that loss in Tyrone Mears, you left that
I'm
ball.
all in.
You left that ball down there, Ty. I'm not shaving anymore. No, that's not it.
That was exactly it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just
but
checking. Anyway.
But no, I mean, it's like this feels different this year.
Yeah,
There's
that's
something
why.
different about everything. But who knows? I mean, it can all change
I mean,
Saturday.
Dave definitely got me thinking about otherwise. Now they're like, man.
Dave's doubts sink into your
No. I
No,
mean,
don't worry. We're going to listen to a lot of Disney hype music going into the match.
So more likely, Zach Scott header goal to win the game, or Stephen Fry shutout.
Well, that's a great question.
I don't know. Both of those things could totally happen. Dude, Torres wants a goal so bad.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
It would make my job really eeasy.
Like the next 3 months of your life was just like every day. That dude, he wants one too.
Yeah.
Jacob with the Stephen Fry goal.
I mean,
Yeah.
we could go the game could go all the way to keeper penalties.
Keeper penalties as well.
And
Oh my
that
God.
could
So
be-
based on MLS like awards this season, Sounders win like 3-0, let's say, and like Javinko dies on the
Yeah.
field, and they still give like someone who played 10 minutes like MVP of the
Yeah,
game,
yeah.
right? Is that how
That
would
reminds
work?
me. But what you think about the 11 today? They announced, man.
I think probably the one that has a case and the one omission, the obvious omission would be Alonso.
Alonso,
right?
yeah.
But I think that
Right?
you can, if you're
Yeah.
going to load it up with attackers the way that they did,
Right,
that's
yeah,
how it happens.
yeah.
And players like Alonso typically get left out of
Yeah.
that. But like,
But
I know
even with Twellman, who talks a lot of smack, was like, "Oh, maybe pick players in those positions."
yeah, and
It was
so
bad.
if it were a true 11,
But it's that way every
Alonso
year.
would be in there.
It is.
But the rest of them, I mean, Lodero was great, but came in so late.
So
in the
late.
year.
Right.
Yeah. But he
He's still the
changed
man. Yeah,
the dynamic
He
of the
had
entire.
as much influence as Schmetzer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and a lot
for
of people would say that probably we wouldn't be here without him. I mean, we wouldn't.
All right. So, is there any questions here in the audience? Anyone wants to ask before we, or as we start to get to
Audience questions
or online? Do you have a secret
Check it
code?
out to the
Do you
paywall.
have a secret
Are
code to
you
the paywall?
trying to make Matt lose his job?
It is. So here, I'm going to give you the secret code for the paywall. You go online, you open your wallet up, you put the credit card number in,
There you go.
boom. And put
I
in
did
the
the, like-
notes, you put in, we love Josh. We love Josh. Oh, my God.
Kayla, where's Kayla? Get this man another drink.
So earlier today, I thought
So
the
I
worst
need another
thing,
drink.
I thought the worst thing was going to be when they said, "Guys, your show's outside. We have heaters," and then they're like, "Tom, contact Matt and tell him to bring his coat." I thought that was going to be the worst thing we said today to Matt. You've talked that, and it's not even close.
All right, so
Ding, you want to get
put
away?
in Mike Pentz.
Wait. Let Matt,
Put in
let
Mike
Matt-
Pentz.
Matt wants to say
That's
something.
even worse.
Yeah, I know.
But like I said, no matter what you write in, I don't particularly
Just buy a
hit the
subscription.
subscribe button. And that'll be fine.
I don't want to ask for any more questions. In fact, maybe I want to get rid of you and bring someone else.
Tomorrow we announce we're looking for a new host.
All I retired as officially right now. Yeah.
No, nar.
Oh my
Riley.
God. Damn. That was not. Yeah. I apologize.
Well, Nico the other day, did he tell you about Schmetzer accidentally referred to Nico as Masvita? But Schmetzer, I mean, in a credit to Hal, just down to
That's
earth.
actually pretty accurate, though.
Yeah, and his down to earth is he was like, even like 2 days later, he came back and he was like completely bummed out that Nico wasn't there again, so he just apologized. He still felt bad like 2 days later.
Don't worry. Hopefully, I'll see you again in the future here. And don't worry. For
In that
like the next
tone-
7 years, I'll
Yeah.
apologize
it's
for
gonna
you.
Keep brought up. But on that note,
I'm
what
sorry,
is
Josh.
your most embarrassing moment of your career with sports and interviews? Do you have an embarrassing moment?
Good question.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about that.
Yeah.
Thankfully, none like stands out immediately.
Not like saying Josh
Okay.
to Matt. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I should just roll with that.
Yeah.
Let's go back to it. We'll go
All right,
back.
all right,
He's
we'll come
calling
back.
Brian Ziggy this week.
Oh my God. But
like
hey,
the
so
least
Brian
Ziggy version.
Schmid, how are you tonight? Oh my God. So now the beef is now officially Aaron versus Mike. Emily.
It's just getting worse.
It's getting worse.
Just
I'm
getting
just
worse.
I'm just reading what it says there.
So
Oh, God.
I have a question.
Please go ahead.
So we're getting to the end of the show here, but like, favorite moment of the season,
Oh yeah.
on or off the field for you?
I would say just last weekend, honestly. Being in Denver and the security was surprisingly lax. So like, if you have your pass, you can pretty much just flash it.
We noticed. Yeah, the photographers were just hopping the wall and
Yeah.
running up into the stands. It was great.
Yeah, and so just on like a human sports fan element to be next to the stage for any kind of trophy celebration like that and to be like 5 feet away, I mean, that was
That's pretty cool.
Wow,
And,
that is
and I
pretty
also
cool.
like realized before I flew to Denver that the last time I'd been in Denver was when I was driving across the country to take my like job in Longview covering preps in small town
And
middle
here
of
you
nowhere. And so 4 years later, I get to have a company pay to put you up in Denver and go to the game and then be there for that moment. It was pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty awesome.
That's a good answer.
That's a great answer.
Love it.
I don't even have anything good to say.
I
after
know.
that.
I know.
No one
What's
has
your
any other
favorite moment of the
standout
season?
Moments here.
Calling Matt Josh.
I mean, that's a pretty good moment.
No, but
What do you think?
No,
Man,
but-
for me, at
Go
the
ahead.
airport welcoming, man, I got to shake.
When the
and-
players were doing the call and response.
Oh, that was pretty
Yeah.
epic, no question. Yeah, and I got to hug and shake Brian's hand, and then, but really the video of Torres singing La Bamba, but to Barra's version of our supporter
yeah,
song.
oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
that's cool.
pretty
That was pretty
cool,
cool.
man. Because we started. Oh, it will. Yeah, it just started. One of our guys started singing and chanting it, and he just took off and started air guitaring and singing along, and it was pretty epic. That was for me one of the best moments.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, we've had a lot of them. I mean, honestly, Brian getting the coach, having the interim
Yeah.
removed was pretty special. I mean, that was something we all wanted. We all
Yeah.
kind of knew was going to happen based on the way it went. I mean, in October we knew that it was going to happen, not in
July.
not July.
August.
But not anytime before. But it kind of felt like it was the right move to make, and that really. It affirmed for me. It was It kind of took all of the bad feelings because we've had. I mean, it's been a long year. I mean, we've done the show.
It started in Mexico
This is
City.
it's 100. Yeah, you guys all went to Mexico City.
Yeah.
195 episodes of SonarFeed now. So this is 195.
Wow.
Which over 4.5 years, and it's kind of crazy. We just do it for fun. We've got to have drinks and say the wrong people's names and pronunciate things improperly.
Pronunciate.
Exactly. I did it on purpose.
You
You're
actually
welcome.
mispronounced
Yes,
pronunciation.
exactly.
Pronounced.
Yes, I know.
We're on fire.
Believe it or not, it was on
We are
purpose.
on fire.
Believe it or
Where's
not.
Kayla?
Yeah, I didn't know. But it's we do this for fun. We have a
Yeah.
good time. But when you're losing, as you talked about earlier, when you're losing, it gets hard
It sucks.
to talk about the team, right? I mean, however, we did it every week, and we came out, we had fun.
We watched the debate one night.
We did. We watched the debate before, and then talked about the debate, and we actually delayed the
Sorry,
show
Mears,
by a
man,
half hour.
You were our.
But-
man.
But it was, yeah. I mean, it was. So to me, it's really coming back to community, and it really was
Friends.
Schmetzer.
Yeah.
It came back to community. It came back to friends. It came back to family. So that would be my moment. Yours?
I think a couple that really stand out. I think the players jumping up to the platform. It really just stands out because it sort of like puts a cap on the season if you will. Like, it just felt like a corner was turned, and it's not that they weren't already on a run, but it just felt like really, really special. But I have to say, like, a really specific one was Brian came over to the capo stand in the section and just wanted to say something to the people in front, and I handed him the microphone, and he stopped for a second, and he just looked at me. And I'm not going to put words in his mouth, but if I were him in this position, the look was, fuck you, Tom. And then he said something to the crowd, and it was just really cool because, like, we didn't have to have that. And he made a point to come over and just talk to the supporters. And I think it's a selfish thing as a supporter to say this, but it's been really cool to see, like, no one gave up all season. And we all just said, if we're going to lose, who cares? Let's go out and have fun.
Yeah.
And it was neat to see, like, come new players and players coming back and whatever, that like that still meant something at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So it was just a neat thing to see. Like, it's we talked about this an hour ago. It's just something I don't think you have in a lot of other sports. I think you have it in other cities with soccer specifically, just the way that the sort of fan or supporter to player thing works. But I think we have something extra special about that here in Seattle.
Yeah, I agree.
But I would just say, frankly, even just the Schmetzer as a whole, that last month or so, like, it just feels like he's so
this whole ride.
Yeah.
just excited.
Yeah,
to
like,
do
is
what
this
he's
real
doing.
life? Are
Yeah.
we are literally all gonna fly to Toronto
Yeah,
for
it's
the
crazy.
MLS
We're all
Cup?
stopping our life to go do this. I mean, you're doing it for a job, you know, but I mean,
I'm fortunate enough.
yeah, I know. Yeah.
If you
Roll
want to get the
through it all.
Seattle Times to pay for all of us to go to Toronto,
We'd be happy to throw.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as you know, newspapers are famously flush with cash.
Yeah. Matt, you
Makes
thought
a lot
I
of
was
sense.
taking a long trip? He's actually taking 9 flights to Toronto.
Not quite.
He's leaving
It's
Wednesday
only a
and
slight
getting there
exaggeration.
just in time for the game.
No, but it's okay, good. So, do we have anything else? Anybody else here have any comments, questions?
Anything else you want to
Yeah.
say? Ask
Well,
questions
I mean,
to
just
us.
Thanks for having me on. It's been
Yeah.
cool. And
Yeah, thanks
Good.
for doing this.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, thanks for coming
Yeah.
out. Yeah,
love to
it's
come
fun.
back.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, we've been talking about for 4.5 years.
4.5 years.
Doing kind of an off-season roundtable where we get non-traditional and traditional media and kind of all of us just sitting
Yeah.
around like a roundtable
Yeah.
and just talking.
Yeah.
Like maybe it's
Bring Don Reese back.
yeah,
bring
because
him in.
Don said he's coming back. He's definitely coming back to the show. We had Mike Gastineau on, Gasman, right? And so it kind of just bring a whole group of us to like just
Yeah.
kind of just have an open forum.
Dude, that was
free.
episode 21.
Yeah, no,
it was.
actually it was like 100, but yeah, because he complained about you waited 100 episodes to invite me, which but so I think it'd be fun. So
For sure.
yeah, thank you for coming out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
as long
man,
as you
appreciate it,
promise
man.
to have it like a month after the season instead of
Yeah, we
the
won't do it.
Yeah,
No, no,
the
no.
MLS like 2 week off season.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
then,
that next Monday.
Yeah. So Monday night Monday night in a week. No, I'm
Yeah.
kidding.
Nope.
But yeah, no.
As we kick off the season, probably. Be
Yes, maybe a good
Absolutely.
kickoff to season. Yeah,
for sure.
kind of show. So
good. Thanks,
okay.
man.
Any other
Man,
comments?
dude.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, dude, that
Thanks
was
for
fun.
having me.
Yeah.
man.
We could probably talk for like
Thank
an
you,
hour.
man.
But this
Yeah,
is awesome.
Matt.
Offending you with my fish tacos.
No, not at all,
It,
man.
it still wasn't as bad
was legit
as
taco.
calling you Josh accidentally. We did talk
You
about
could have
doing.
called him Matt Calkins.
You know, what we actually did talk about doing. I should say this
That happens a lot.
Yeah.
is we talked about doing an episode at the Tacoma Stars.
Yeah.
Because we've been talking to them about doing, and they were talking about giving us the floor before the game, and kind of having the beer garden there afterwards. So that,
Yeah.
might,
I only
that might
want
be
to do
fun.
it if we can have those like spotlights and stuff.
Totally,
Yeah.
absolutely,
That also sounds like a Don Ruiz affair.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Perry the Peanut will be there, and the Bee, and everybody else. So yeah, but okay,
Yeah.
all right. Well, anyway, so thank you very much. We'll see you this weekend.
I'll be
Saturday.
there.
Okay. If you want to have a drink on Friday night,
I will let you know.
okay.
Yeah.
Friday
I
night.
have no idea if I'm gonna have any.
Friday
ounce
night,
of free time.
6:30, the Antler Room at the Loose Moose. It's the most Canadian thing we
The
could
Antler
possibly have
Room
done.
at the Loose
Loose
Moose.
Moose.
Pro tip
I
right
It's actually a
there.
real
serve
spot.
Only Molson Canadian, and that's nothing else.
Molson Double X or
Yeah.
whatever.
Molson Ice.
Kokanee Gold.
If you are staying here in Seattle, you obviously have the Sounder Heart Party.
Yep,
It's going to happen
at Queen Anne.
at Queen Anne Beer Hall.
At the beer hall.
At the-
Fuel is the official ECS spot downtown.
Labara is going to be here
Here
at the
at
Berliner
Berliner
Pub.
Pub.
They're going to be inside, outside. They have a party that night because they had a party booked like 6 months ago that had to have this night. So that party's outside, but inside will be all Labara and first come, first serve here at the Berliner. So
Get here early.
Get her early
Get
because
here
we've
early.
been getting here really early,
There's
and
gonna be.
it's
There are probably going to be
I'd say between here and like north side of town, probably 30 things.
Watch parties.
All
Yeah.
in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, between the supporter
That's
groups
so Seattle.
and just bars
Yeah.
that are doing it
Yeah.
up.
Tavern
The great
hall
thing
for-
about
Love
it,
it.
yeah, great thing about it is it's I think the only other
Love
game that day
it.
is Army Navy,
Love
and
it.
it's daytime.
Okay.
So it's a great day for it.
For sure, and so on Twitter, if anyone could send me wherever your game watches are happening, we're putting together a preview section for
Nice.
Saturday.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, great. Yeah.
Try to get a
At
comprehensive
Matt
list.
Get
Pentz,
Matt the
and that's
info.
Pentz, not
Yeah.
Pense.
And it's Matt, not JOS.
I-
The next
great-
four-
MATT,
the next
not
4
MIKE.
years- The next 4 years of your life.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm glad that it's spelled different.
And the Tacoma Stars
BMO
are
Field.
showing the match before the game
Okay.
at the stadium. They actually the Stars moved their game time back to show the match.
So it's
Yeah.
doors at like 4:30.
Yeah,
or
pretty much.
something?
I don't know the
Okay.
exact time, but yeah,
That's
they're-
actually super cool.
It is really cool, and they actually tweeted it. It was like kind of like a neat little thing.
Nice.
So lots of places to go watch
Yeah.
it.
Way to
Yeah,
go,
it's Casey
KC.
Catherwood. Anyways, okay, so I think that's it, right?
We'll see you
We'll
guys,
see you guys
later.
there. We are planning a show sometime that
Special
weekend.
show.
on
Probably
Yeah.
Saturday
From Toronto, our
Noonish.
first international
Eastern.
show, guys.
Noon Eastern.
Noon Eastern.
Well, we
so
didn't do a show.
get up
We were-
early.
We called in.
What?
We called in. We're doing. This is our first international show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you remember Mark bought tequila?
Yeah.
And we called Aaron.
And I
Oh
don't,
my
I don't think I
God.
would call that tequila. I would not call Jose Cuervo. That was Cuervo.
Excellent.
Wait, you
call.
bought Cuervo and called me?
As
a liter.
I bought a liter. At a bar. On the beach.
Like a Farva leader?
as a legit.
Like a Farver liter.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
Okay.
He was. Just go.
As someone being born in the same state where tequila's from, that was not tequila, sir.
All right. As always,
We're out.
Renton is
Yeah.
ahead of the curve. Good night, boys and
Later,
girls.